Dingus and Dongus.
Tomato.
Episode 56.
Oh,
Too late. Already recording.
well, I'm just gonna talk really, really slow until
Until we figure
I
out
am
where the
ready.
Devil's Island is.
yes, because we are talking about Devil's Island, written by
Dave Mustaine.
yeah, basically because that's the only reason why I picked the book.
Oh, is it really?
It literally is the reason because Devil's Island.
Yeah.
And I saw the book on Comixology. It was like, okay, good enough for me.
And it had neat cover art.
Yeah,
I mean, like, not spectacular, but
It's-
interesting enough.
yeah. It's an island with a skull.
Yeah.
Cloud thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was a pretty good Everybody Sucks book.
Yep. To gauge whether or not you suck, who wrote it?
I'm gonna talk really slow again until I come up with the name Nikola Jajic.
Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Nikola Jajic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yep.
I don't
Artist
know any
is
better.
Joseph Cage, and then we got Raymond Lee and Diosdado Mondero, and letterer is Peter Simeti. Yeah. Well, there you go.
There's the creative team behind Dave Mustaine's Devil's Island.
Yep. Mustaine's so proud that he wrote all of Metallica's best riffs, and yet here we are in 2023 finding out he didn't write Devil's Island,
Yeah, no. Who would have thought
right?
that the Jajic would have done it?
In 20 years, I actually don't know how far in the future, but
20-ish.
yeah,
Or 40-ish.
somewhere around there. It's like this is like a really weird version of East on Route.
It is.
Yeah. Which is something you should check out. It's a thing on Facebook that's been stopped.
Yeah, and it's how Isan wrote all these fantastic albums.
Yep. Except for Devil's Island from Killing's My Business.
Yes. Business is good.
Yeah. Because of Devil's Island.
Yeah. It's a place where prisoners go to be imprisoned for life, or to be also imprisoned for life, but be a hunter of other prisoners.
Right. So basically a snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A really, the worst snitch you could be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like you're all stuck in this horrible environment, and just for a modicum of shitty comfort that you're allowed, you're asked to be a snitch on your fellow prisoners and hunt them down when they try to escape, where they're brought back and tortured and killed and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. And this was, what, late 1800s, I want to think?
Yeah.
And it was French island?
I think it's, yeah.
Or French colony?
I don't think it was ever specifically, stated,
Okay.
but all the names seem French to me.
Well, they were also talking about Bonaparte, but not that Bonaparte.
Right.
Like Bonaparte's cousin's son or something like
Was
that.
there well, I mean, obviously there were other Bonapartes,
Yeah.
but was there another Bonaparte that was important?
Well, in this story, there was. And it was Napoleon Bonaparte's cousin's son or something. And he was a real shithead, it sounded like.
Yeah,
I guess that runs in the Bonaparte family.
I guess so. You think?
Speaking of, I need to make an addendum to a previous episode that I can't remember which, where I spoke to, and we were discussing Napoleon, and I had brought up elephants going through the Alps. That was not Napoleon. That was
Hannibal
Hannibal.
Buress.
Burris. Yeah, so it was Hannibal. So if you had listened to that and then are now listening to this, there's the addendum.
There you go. You should congratulate Hannibal Buress on his accomplishment.
Through his trek through the Alps.
Yes.
Oh, I want him to go to the Alps so bad with like just toy elephants. He needs to do that.
Amazing. That'll be... I'll even settle for like a Photoshop
Yeah.
of him in the Alps.
Right.
But he needs to do it himself.
Yes.
Back to the story, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's basically about this group of like 4 prisoner hunter snitches, right?
Yeah.
All of them.
I love hunter snitches.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wait. Oh, I was gonna say snitch hunters, but then that would be the hunters of the snitches, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. There were 4 of them, and they all had, similar backstories where they probably didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah, probably.
There were, all of them did bad things, but
It was like
it's these understandable,
it's kind of a victim of circumstance
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. I don't remember what all of them were.
Well, I mean, some of them killed some people.
Yeah.
So,
But weren't the people they killed, shitty people, too?
yes.
Yeah. So, there you go. Everybody sucks.
Yeah. It's like maybe they don't deserve to be exiled to this island for the rest of their life, but there's got to be some accountability, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in the late 1800s France. Actually, I do know what that is. A lot of guillotines and hangings.
Yeah.
So never mind. Maybe they're better off.
Well, I don't know.
Well, they ended up not being.
Yeah. I mean, a guillotine's supposed to be pretty fast, right?
Assuming it goes through the first go.
Does it not go?
I don't know. I'm just assuming it does.
I mean,
I've
I know,
never experienced it.
I'm glad. Even though, you probably have some, lucrative interviews.
Right. I would go on to daytime talk shows, and when I come out, I'd be playing Judas Priest, Some Heads Are Gonna Roll, and I'll discuss my guillotine experience.
But not mine.
Yeah. Some heads are gonna roll.
Not this
but
one.
not this one.
Kind of lost my train of thought.
Yep, sorry, bud.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna take it off then. I really appreciated how the background art was done in this.
Yeah.
It was very monotone or two-tone, and a lot of the items, whether that's building, tree, whatever, was just kind of a silhouette with a really vibrant color sky behind it. But it was two-tone. And I was like, oh, I just really liked it.
I think it works to the atmosphere of the story.
Absolutely. Yep.
Because it's you get these stark contrasts and just general bleak feel to it. And I actually did read the afterword by the author, and I may be remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read something about how there's at least a point in the writing process where it's intended to be like a purgatorial state, this island.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to represent purgatory or whatever, because at the end of the book, you see this figure, one of the characters, washed up on the shore, which is kind of like a reflection of how the book started. It was like a skeleton on the shore in the same exact position. So it's hinting at the fact that, he ended up at the same island and is just stuck there for eternity.
I assumed that much.
Yeah.
It was he thinks he got out, but it's just the same island.
Mm-hmm.
That was my assumption, but I didn't quite remember. I didn't put the end of the book to match the beginning of the book.
Yeah, I didn't really do that myself until I read the
Gotcha.
little afterword, and I'm pretty sure he said there's a point where he thought about having it be like really explicit that this is the same person, like the skeleton at the start of the book and the person who washed up on the shore.
Huh.
It's the same person. So he like went back in time, ended up being the skeleton that you see at the start of the story.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That could be purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just that fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like when I read that, like it's like, okay, so there's actually like a great deal of thought that the writer put into this whole book,
Mm-hmm.
which I appreciate.
Yeah. I think it made for a good story. And it made for a good story on not complex like ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have criminals sent to an island, and then other criminals also sent to the island, and then the guards of the island don't want to do all the dirty work, so they get the other criminals to do it. That shit happens in prisons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guards don't want to do a lot of shit in prison, so they get the quote-unquote good inmates to do it for them.
Right, and there isn't like, any massive like plans happening within the story itself.
No.
It's you're just kind of day in the life of this fucking prison.
I was about to say, it's a slice of life with really shitty circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Even being a guard on that island would fucking blow, man.
Yeah.
Because now you have to wear a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you're not getting hung at the gallows. Not even gallows. It's like, it reminds me of, I don't know what it reminds me of, but I've seen it. It's just a series of beams, and they just hang a bunch of people at once.
Right.
It's like, oh. And then I just touched your shoulder, and I don't know why. Because I got really excited, because for some reason I had forgot the hole. That they put prisoners in that started out as an isolation hole that turned into where you just let the insane or the sick go and rot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the prisoner's duty to clean that up. And that sounded horrible.
Yeah. And then there's also, that shit happened in real life too.
Yeah.
Which is like the really fucked up part about like this whole story is like, yeah, these things, like maybe not these specific things, but these type of things happened.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah, still. It's doesn't leave you with a good taste like for humanity.
Mm-mm. And it makes me dislike the French even more.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
They get good bread though.
What?
Good bread.
I mean, so does San Francisco.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they're way cooler than the French. I'm sorry. I've never been to France. I think I've met one French person, and they were nice.
Yeah.
I'm just furthering an American stereotype. I'm sorry, France. You have good wine.
Yeah.
I like eating garlic snails.
Garlic snails?
Escargot.
Oh yeah.
That's really good. Have you had it?
Yeah.
That's really fucking good. It's just butter and garlic.
As long as it's like well done.
Yeah.
Because you could fuck it up like real bad. Because I've done it. Yeah. I remember trying to make escargot years ago, and it literally ended up like tasting and like not just the texture, but like the taste itself tasted like burnt rubber.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. And I fucked up real bad.
Yeah, I've only ever had it at like restaurants that can't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there won't be a restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'll take that back. I tried it one time also at like a buffet place, and that was just rubber.
Mm.
And I just never, it was like, so at buffets, I just kind of don't do sushi, and I don't do escargot because it's buffet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's not do that.
I'll still do buffet sushi, but like certain things that I know like you need to be like really delicate and like careful with.
No.
Which I guess that would be sushi.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We should stop talking about food right now.
Okay.
And finish this up. And then go get food.
That sounds good. I think if you like a bleak prisoner story, you will enjoy this book.
Yeah, it's well done.
Yeah.
And it's just full of like, fuck. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
Yeah. It's not a happy read, but it's well done.
Mm-hmm. And it went by fast.
Yeah, I think it's like
6
5?
issues? 5?
Yeah.
5 or 6 issues.
Yeah.
It read quickly is what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ended very, like, you already heard the ending with the one guy that quote unquote got away but didn't get away. But, like, everyone else dies.
Yeah. I do like how the quote unquote main character dies.
Mm-hmm.
Choosing to die.
Yeah, he's like, no, you go. He's like, I'm not going to go without you. He's like, nah, man, you go.
Right.
Like, I have to do this.
Right? It's like he's... Yeah, it's real sad.
It's like dude from Predator, but doesn't make it out.
A lot of people don't make it out.
Whatever. So we listened to Pharaoh, The Powers That Be.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a great episode. We're right on top of things.
Band out of Philadelphia. This album released 2 years ago, and I thought it was almost perfect power metal.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
I thought I have no complaints, but at the same time, it also did nothing for me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was good power metal, but it wasn't overly cheesed, like a Dragon Force or whatever. That's just like, and that's their shtick. I thought it had it was a good mix of interesting song structure and then also chorus chanty bits.
Right. What I would compare it to would be like something like Fate's Warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that style of power metal.
Yes.
The reason why I said it didn't do anything for me, like when I was listening to it, I recognized like, yeah, these are cool riffs and these are good, well-written songs, but none of it stuck.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. And I think it just might be one of those things where like I just haven't been in the mood for power metal.
Fair. As noted by literally all of our episodes.
Yeah. And it's not like, I like, power metal.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But it's just one of those things. I think we mentioned it during another episode of the Ne
Obliviscaris.
Yeah, where it was like, there's definitely a point where, when I was super into like that type of thing, that I would have enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is maybe like a similar situation here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It felt like there was elements of progginess to it also.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like progressive power metal, but it wasn't overly power and overly progressive. Because a lot of progressive metal to me really just verges on like being Meshuggah with clean vocals.
Oh yeah.
Like I know they're doing some time signature bullshit, but all here is
Starty stoppies?
Yeah, starty stoppy gent shit.
Yeah.
So this one I could hear some of that in the guitar riffs, and then it would be like cool solo and then singing over it. Mm-hmm. It's just a mix of it all.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like I say, it's like because Fate's Warning also did a little of that as well.
That's the best. Yeah.
But I did notice the singer, because I was doing a little bit of research. He was on Control Denied.
Yes.
Which made sense, I suppose. Like, because Control Denied also had a very Fate's Warning feel to it.
It leaned more progressive than this.
Definitely more so than this.
And that's Chuck.
Yeah.
That's Chuck's fault.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the vocalist is dead.
Yeah, I saw that he died this year.
Recently, yeah. The reason why I even bring that up is like, I wonder if I should just book a power metal band because fuck it, I can do whatever I want. Like, or we can do whatever we want.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be all death and black metal. It's like, And And then I was like, oh yeah, no, he's gone. But also the drummer is the High Spirits guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Same drum? As in he plays drums in High Spirits? Or...
No, he's the vocalist in High Spirits.
Oh.
Chris Black, I think is his name.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So he plays drums.
Gotcha.
In Pharaoh.
Okay. I think he was also, like, affiliated with Don Anderson from Agalock and something.
Probably. The dude does a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And that's really why I know this band is because of Chris.
Yeah.
Because High Spirits is fine. You know, it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That first album, and then everything else, I don't really care. And even that first album, I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's not bad stuff. I just, whatever. But
I guess he's like a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah.
But Pharaoh kept coming up in conversation whenever High Spirit would come up with certain people. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to listen to it. And then I listened to one of their albums. I was like, this is really good. So I saw that they had one recently. I was like, I'm putting it on the list. And also because we hadn't done power metal. We did Eternal Champion, I think.
Yeah.
And then, like, no other power metal.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even really power metal. But that's semantics. So yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah. I was like, we're going power metal. Fuck it.
If you like, Fates Warning style power metal, you're going to like this album.
Dingus and Dongus.
Hey Marco.